Is hormonal treatment safe? Because there are a lot of, there's articles out there that sort of scream danger, danger, but what are the things that we need to be looking at in terms of safety, and should we be fearful or should we be embracing it as a good solution?
Michael, I think we need to start first with the medicines and medications that are registered for hormone replacement therapy is safe. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to use them.
Right.
Medication have an effect. Now, unfortunately, the majority of medication is accompanied or associated with certain side effects.
Yes.
If I give you a tablet for a headache, it might create a little bit of drowsiness or dizziness, etc., etc. So that's the side effect. We need to understand that if I give you a medication for a specific reason and the medication is appropriate, given in the correct way, we sometimes still have an unexpected result, and we call that an adverse reaction.
Right.
Okay. When we look at safety, the thing that we need to understand is risk. We all have an inherent risk of being in an accident if we get into the car and drive to the shop. When the conditions, the driving conditions change, for instance, it starts raining and the visibility starts decreasing, that risk increases. It doesn't mean that you're going to have an accident.
Right.
So when we talk about safety, we should rather speak about benefit versus risk.
Okay. So it's really a case of saying, look, this could be a solution to what you're dealing with. There are risk factors involved which may rear their heads, but if you do nothing, you're also at risk of further deterioration or further impact in your life.
Absolutely. I think one of the most important things that I want to bring across in this episode is you as the patient need to be involved in this decision-making process. So it's sitting with your practitioner, your specialist, and discussing, one, what is the benefit of taking this medication? What are the consequences if I do not take the medication?
Right.
Then, as we just said, we need to understand that there are risks involved with all medications, side effects or adverse reactions. So we need to understand what's the risk profile that I have. And these things would be influenced by lifestyle, whether you're obese or not obese,
Right.
whether you use alcohol or not. For instance, if we look at specifically the risk of developing breast cancer. Your risk of developing breast cancer, if you are obese in a group of 1,000 women, is 11.
Okay.
So 11 women will develop breast cancer because of obesity. The number of women that will develop breast cancer because they use alcohol on a daily basis is higher
Right.
than the risk of women going onto combined hormonal treatments. So what I would like us to understand is that going onto any form of treatment involves a decision that needs to be made. The only way that you can make the decision is if you are involved, in other words, understand what it is that you're doing. So is hormone replacement therapy safe? The medication is safe. The route of administration is safe. The risk might change. And this is something that you need to discuss with your practitioner.
And I think that goes into sort of, I mean, I don't want to go too deep into it, but the ethics of practitioners to really discuss and unpack this information with their patients so that they can make an informed decision and say, I understand the risks associated, but the benefits potentially outweigh those risks, so I'll go ahead and continue.
Michael, when we think about hormone therapy or hormone replacement therapy, I think the majority of our viewers would immediately go menopause, estrogen treatment in one way or another, cancer. They associate that. What we tend to forget is that if you are taking thyroid medication, you are on hormone replacement therapy.
Right.
Insulin-dependent diabetics are taking hormone replacement therapy. Things as simple as taking vitamin D, we spoke about it the other day in one of the previous episodes, is that vitamin D is a hormone.
Yes.
So if you take vitamin D, you are taking hormone replacement therapy.
Right.
All of these things need to be done with information, and we as practitioners need to take the time to inform our patients.
Absolutely.
And often we don't have it.
Yeah. So Mark, let's go to the cancer question, because as you say, it's very tightly associated. What is, in fact, the cancer risk when you're dealing with hormone replacement therapy? Why is that the one that is such a burdensome problem?
So let's narrow that down then. If we're going to speak hormone therapy, as I said, there's many forms of it.
Yes.
So let's focus on the one that I think most people think about, and that's menopausal hormone therapy. The International Menopause Society last year published a paper in which they make the following statement. Most women will not have a diagnosis of cancer as a result of hormone treatments.
Okay.
So, to bring this into perspective, if we take a group of 1,000 women, they've never had any exposure to hormone therapy, 3 of those women will develop breast cancer.
Okay.
When we now take 1,000 women on hormone replacement therapy between the ages of 50 to 59, 3.5 of those women will develop cancer. As I said earlier, lifestyle plays a role. The risk, or let's take 1,000 women that drink 4 to 6 units of alcohol per day, 8 of them will develop breast cancer.
Right, yeah.
If they drink more than 6, it will be 11 of those women will develop breast cancer. Now let's take a look at women that take estrogen-only treatment. 1,000 of them. The number there becomes a negative.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it actually protects us from developing cancer. When we look at combined therapy, this is most of the women, so they take progesterone and estrogen together. The risk is elevated slightly, but still far lower than the ones that are drinking alcohol or that are obese.
Okay.
So does hormone treatment cause cancer? The answer is no. And it definitely does not increase mortality. Again, it needs to be an informed decision. We need to take into consideration so many factors. What we know from big cohort studies like the Women's Health Initiative is that the benefit that hormone therapy or hormone replacement therapy will have on your quality of life far exceeds the possible risk of developing an adverse reaction like cancer.
So Mark, tell us a little bit about what you guys do at the T Clinic, because you've got a very holistic approach to hormone replacement therapy. So how do you, I suppose the question is, provide comfort to your patients that they are in safe hands when they're dealing with you?
Michael, what we do is creating balance within hormone systems. It's when the balance in systems go out that we start getting side effects. Let's, for instance, look at a woman who still have her uterus, the womb. If we give her estrogen only, she has a very high risk of developing endometrial cancer, because we need the progesterone to balance the effect. That's why it's a cyclical thing when you have your period. So unopposed treatment of anything leads to risk. So with us, what we focus on is balancing of all the systems in the body. It's difficult to do because, as we've explained in the previous episodes, changing one ingredient in the cake, the quantity, the quality, it's going to change
how the cake turns
how
out.
the cake tastes.
Yeah.
The secret is to do this, and this takes time, monitoring, and most of all, communication from our patients.
Right, right.
So we communicate with our patients either weekly, and for our national, international patients, we have feedback from these patients on survey forms about how they're progressing, how they're doing on a continuous basis, at least once a month.
Right. Mark, thank you so much for shedding some light on the topic again. I love these hormonal chats. I don't like being hormonal, I'm not, but the chats are great. It's great to learn about it. So thank you so much for sharing.
It's my pleasure.